Broader sense of how Americans are feeling. He's Vice President for Policy and Communications at the National Taxpayers Union, and he joins us now in Washington. So, Pete, Sepp, what are you hearing from people so far? It does sound like there's this widespread venting by taxpayers. What are you hearing?
Well, the venting is becoming organized. That's the important difference between what we're hearing now and what we were hearing perhaps back in November or December when some of the Troubled Asset Relief Program funds were being released. You have the left organizing rallies on Thursday this week, protesting the bonuses and big insurance and financial company executives being irresponsible in their management. On the right wing, you have what are called taxpayer Tea Party protests. Those are going on all over the country. The fact that you have this kind of opposition from both sides of the political spectrum means that politicians are being caught in a squeeze right now. They're not sure exactly what they should be doing to appease the public here. Goodness knows we have our ideas, and so do others, but they're really trying to get a read on public opinion right now and just how active and durable it's going to be.
So it sounds like rage has transformed into resolve. Have you ever seen this kind of public response before?
One time, and that was when members of Congress tried to raise their own salaries without a vote. That was way back in 1989. It actually spawned a talk radio revolution, and people were sending their tea bags into Washington, D.C. to protest. I've not seen anything on that level until today.
So just so I'm clear, though, when taxpayers get wound up like this and they take to their streets, we're looking at that possibly on Thursday, but who are they mad at exactly? Are they blaming companies like AIG, or are they actually turning some of their resentment towards the government for providing some of this bailout money in the first place?
I definitely think that among fiscal conservatives, the outrage is equal toward the government as well as these firms. We've seen in the space of 6 months an incredible government involvement in our own economy, not only financial decisions, but production decisions, retailing, all kinds of things are being now affected by government policies that were never affected before. So that's one factor. I think, too, that even the political left is getting angry not only at the corporate executives, but also the political establishment for continuing to let this happen. They did vote for change, after all. The Bush administration steered us into this mess, and it doesn't seem the Obama administration is trying to steer us out.
You know, yesterday when President Obama addressed this, and he said, you know, we're going to do everything we can using leverage. We're going to look at legal options to see if we can make sure that these bonuses don't wind up in the hands of AIG executives. Is that any source of comfort, or does that generally ring hollow with a lot of people?
Well, it's small comfort indeed, because the government was obviously asleep at the switch again. There are those who say, well, these were contracts arrived at long ago. There was nothing that could have been done. But when you consider that the transparency of the Troubled Asset Relief Program and all the other bailouts that followed was just terrible. There were very few details of the various contracts that were let, the deals that were made, the insurance commitments and liabilities. Had we had more transparency from the beginning, someone might just have discovered this problem before it became a full-blown debacle like it is now. And trust in government among the general public is lower than trust in even big business. So it's really a double-edged sword right now.
And if there has been this sense of, I mean, we've talked a lot about the kind of breach of trust conduct by some of the wheelers and dealers of Wall Street. But if you're saying that people now are looking, you know, fairly critically at the Obama administration and saying, you know, this is a breach of trust. You haven't been transparent enough. How big a problem is this for the Obama administration as they try to move forward and fixing the economy and continue to try to come up with bailout packages to shore up different parts of the economy?
Well, right now, I think the opposition to the Obama administration and the mistrust is still at a manageable stage, at least for political situations. But if another thing like this happens, or if the administration is seen as being soft in trying to get AIG back on the right side of the line here, there could very easily be an overall public malaise toward the administration, and the so-called honeymoon that Obama has had for about 3 months will just be over instantly.
Yeah, you have to think that people in the administration are trying to find ways to take steps to make sure that that doesn't happen, that the kind of anger that we've seen so far doesn't turn into a deep resentment and directed squarely at the White House. So any idea of what could be done that might reassure people and might get them to, they can be angry at Wall Street but not be angry with the administration?
I think Congress has to get involved here. Senator Grassley is not known to be a bomb thrower, and yet he's saying things like this. It's very clear that if Americans continue to pressure Congress as well as the White House, we'll see some legislative reforms. We may very well see some kind of law passing to take back these bonuses. That may trigger court actions, but then you have to think, who in the world would try to sue to get their bonus? I mean, the public relations disaster would be worse than anything happening even now.
Yeah, you're right. You'd be getting the award for Gull, the Olympics of Gull for sure. Very interesting. We'll continue to follow it. Pete Sepp, good to talk to you. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.